Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching the Party with Marty.
We're here to party with Marty!
Yes, sir. You did it. You did it. Give yourself a high five. You've made it into the Party with Marty podcast, hypothetically the best podcast in the world and forever. And with me, my co-host, hypothetically the best, I've got best flies around here, best co-host and producer on the planet, the one and only Mr. Greek Savage.
What's up, Mr. Jannetty? How you doing? Love the Georgia Bulldog shirt.
Yeah, you know what's up, right?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to wear. Oh, by the way, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Happy Thanksgiving. And this is a holiday special, and we're going to be talking about gross shit. But yeah, I wanted to wear some kind of orange pumpkin shirt or something, for Thanksgiving. But besides not having one, I right there, I should have worn it. I got to get that as a T-shirt.
that would probably make a great shirt, by the way. I don't know what happens to that turkey.
Well, I tell you, there's two things that we're not happy about Thanksgiving: that turkey and my foot. Because
I hope I don't see that on my table tomorrow for dinner.
If you do, don't eat it. But yeah, I mean that's a big part of this whole theme for today's show is that foot right there. Yeah. But so with the Georgia, I had to rep them because it's to that part of the year, the season. It's playoff. We're building into the playoffs. And college football to me is the most exciting because there's so much emotions. And wow, for me, I mean, we got Georgia Tech this week coming up. I'm pretty good with that. I think everybody, you never know. They might shit themselves, but it's the following week, the SEC championship, Alabama versus Georgia.
That's a big game.
I got Alabama on my hat and Georgia on my shirt because I grew up right here on the river. I go across the bridge. I'm in Alabama.
That's true.
And, stay on my side of the bridge. I'm in Georgia.
Yeah.
And Georgia Bulldogs were always big. And back in my day, younger days, Bear Bryant, the legendary Bear Bryant, who was running Alabama, was winning everything like they had been doing under Saban up until most recent. And they're probably not. Here's the thing. Well, my teams, I got three teams. It's basically where I've lived for, major amounts of time in my life. I bought a house and lived in Florida, so I got all over to Florida and Florida State. I lived in Tallahassee a while, right there where Florida State is. But so I always take in the team where I live.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and when I was living in Orlando, and Gainesville was right up the road a little bit, and I met a few of the coaches, and they had invited me to come work out at the gym at the school, and that was great, meeting the players and watching them on Saturday. So it comes that time though when the SEC, these are all SEC teams, they're going to play each other. And just like Georgia, Alabama, it's like, oh shit, man! I win either way you look at it, and I lose either way you look at it. So, and so the way I've come to decide who to cheer for that game is who's got the best chance of going on and winning the national championship. And right now, Alabama's on the outside looking in. And what I mean is there's Oregon, Texas, and Florida State. Florida State's going to be a non-factor. They lost their quarterback, their superstar quarterback.
It's never good.
No, they may, they may win out, but
you never know. That whoever's subbing in might show out, ball out that day. And,
like Brady did. That's how Brady became a superstar with the Patriots. But yeah. So this one, I got to pull for my dogs, man, because Alabama is going to get shut out. They're not going to, unless Oregon loses somewhere, and Florida State is probably going to lose a game, and then Texas, unless all three of them lose out, and then Alabama might slide in, and Georgia can stay in if it's a close game.
College football gets very confusing for me. There's too many brackets, Big
playoffs,
10, Big 12, Big this, Big
that. And every time you figure it out, they change it. Like, okay, this next year, these two teams, Texas is going to be in the SEC next year. And I forgot who's coming with them. But, so it's forever changing. And then they're going to a 6 or 8 team format for the playoffs.
I think WWE just sponsored the Big 12. There was a big announcement that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're working together with all the college teams to give them.
Why they go to 12? Why did they do the SEC? I wonder.
Probably the only deal they could get for now, but give them some time. I'm sure they got another one.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you got a lot to look forward to, which should keep you busy.
Thank God, man, because as now that we got all that out the way, I do got my Alabama. I love them. SEC game, to me, and we'll move on. But to me, it's the best 4 teams in the country right now. Wasn't earlier in the year because Alabama did not have their shit together at the beginning. Right now, they're the most dangerous team. But Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and Alabama are heads and heels above the rest, I believe. That's why I'm scared for Georgia. If Alabama beats them, neither one gets in the national championship playoffs, So it's like, God, I hate cheering against any of my teams, but I got to go with Georgia on this one. So and I'll be back, next week. That'll be like next Thursday. Will be 3 days before the playoffs, so I'll really be hyping up a Georgia on that. Who do you love now? Out of I know you're going to be a Northern boy, so it's going to be Michigan, Ohio State. Which one you going with?
I'm probably going to go with Ohio State.
Yeah, I think they are the ones. If Georgia's doing something incredible, that's another reason they'll want to go for them. Even if Alabama, the other teams, like I said, Alabama sneaks backdoors into the playoffs with Georgia. I mean, I had to cheer for Georgia because they'll be the first team in history to three-peat national championship, at least in modern time. I don't know about 1880, but
I'll tell you what, this time next year, hopefully we can go to a game in Georgia and watch those Bulldogs in person.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to, man.
I'd like to set that up. I've never been to a college football game. I've only seen them on TV, and they look like an incredible environment.
Oh, I mean, here's the difference. I mean, I love pro ball too. But here's the difference. In college, is so much emotion played. And emotion, the heart, the desire to drive, that energy that comes from determination and excitement makes a difference. That's why when the analysts out there in Vegas are, putting the games like who's going to win and how many points, you can't measure the heart. That's one thing. And then a whole team full of heart, you can't measure that. That's why you never know. In pros, it's more mechanical. It's more robotish. I mean, you expect this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Oh, there's an interception. That's going to change it for a little, but if you see it in college, there's an interception, a fucking place goes crazy. Where, they okay, good job in the pros. It's just more emotion.
It's more coachable. Everything's just coaching. And college, there's a lot of coaching, but you just see people turn into superstars before.
Right. They're being made right in front of your eyes. And then the thing about pro too, and Nick Saban went through it and a couple others went through it. When you make that jump from being a great college coach to the NFL, what you go from is teaching kids to jump and teaching millionaires. Millionaires will look at you like, bitch, I'm making more than you.
Some would argue some of these college kids should be making millions of dollars, but that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, they're coming around on that too.
With your permission, sir, I'd like to put up the first picture that you had me set up on your slideshow, and hopefully you can just narrate us through what's going on.
Yeah, hold on, but let me open it with this. All right, so we're done with the chit chat, and then again, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. And you too, Mizzy, you and your family.
Thank you, sir.
How's the little boy?
Little boy's doing phenomenal. Getting ready to eat some turkey tomorrow. I'll tell him what's up for you.
That's gonna be this is really what your second or third one?
This is gonna be the
third.
This is the second.
Okay, cool. That's gonna be some. Take me pictures, man. I love seeing your family pictures.
Thank you.
But so yeah, here's the deal. Now we actually this is episode 8. We did it last week, and it was fresh after I just got through surgery with the ankles again. And I mean, it's funny. I mean, I didn't want you to show. You wanted to show a couple of pictures where I was like this. My eyes are shut, but I'm like, yeah, man. And we go over here, we do that. I mean, I didn't miss a beat on the talk. It was coherent and everything. But it's like I'm doing it in my sleep. My eyes are closed. My head would even bob some, and I couldn't really feel it because you were like, hey. Then it would like snap me out of it like it was falling asleep.
Yeah, I had to wake you up a few times. Yeah.
The funniest thing was you like, because I think I sat there for a minute while you were talking like this, and you said, Marty, put some sunglasses on. And I'm like, oh, did I fall asleep? So I did. I reached down and I put glasses on, and they were sideways, and it wasn't sunglasses. And I didn't even know.
You had the sunglasses on your chin, and then the regular glasses on your head. It was great.
Yeah, it was clear glasses. It did no good.
No good.
But so what we were doing is the name of the show was will Marty lose his foot? Well, that's what we had, yeah. And because that's one of the options on the table right now. And I got some good news. I'll get into it in a minute because I just met with Lee and my doctor yesterday, and we'll show those pictures. But it's well, just sticking with last week, we were going to try to show it because the substance was good and I was there with everything, but I was just like, the medication, it's a lot. It's got to be a lot. It's just an antibiotic. It's a powerful one. And then there's the pain medication. Then there's the sleep. The trazodone is a sleep one, I think. There's another one that supposedly keeps me from going crazy. It don't seem to be working. But they're just all of them mixed together. Gosh, you whacked out. Like earlier when you and I were talking, I couldn't remember PICC line, and that's what it's called, the PICC line. We'll show later in the slides. The where you home intravenously take your medicine. And that's when it's real powerful. They really want you to stay at the hospital, during all that. You got to remember too, me being a single guy, and I got friends here in Columbus, but this is where I grew up. But for the most part, I've not been in Columbus since I moved away about 40 years ago. I still got good friends. My friend Wakita Underhar, also known as Mike Watford, is a blessing. Our addiator or moderator, Addie, Radical Addie, is, God, what a blessing she is, man. And it makes me so happy to help promote her stuff. I don't want to move the camera around. But she's got a whole line of stuff that she does with, was it K-Pop Crazy?
Yeah, kpopcrazy.com.
You can get her, she can make, shit, that's what I didn't send you. I had a picture of it all. I ain't gonna mess with move shit, but
we got a bunch. She has a bunch of merch. If you go to kpopcrazy.com, she's got earrings, t-shirts, mugs.
Oh, it's so nice though. It's so nice. So then we just try to ease it a little shot, or it's gonna drive me crazy till I do. Wait a minute, is it outside?
I see the earrings. I see the logo.
Oh, yeah, the earrings. I don't want to miss it with anything. The earrings, she license plates, t-shirts, of course.
Well, the good thing about her Addie is she's always making new stuff.
Yes, and she makes good stuff, quality. And you tell her what you want. You want your name. You want your product. You want a joke on somebody else. You can do that. I suggested to her one time if she could make some toilet paper, and it says on the box a picture of Shawn Michaels, wipe to develop. And she said I could figure that out.
I'm sure Shawn would be a big fan of that.
Yeah, I'm just playing. That's actually a good thing for somebody to jump on, like Vince. I had so many marketing ideas, merchandise ideas, but
it's great because in wrestling, there's good guys and there's bad guys. So you want to wipe your ass with the guys you don't like, right?
Yeah. And then you see a picture of them when you look at it.
Marty, you might just have invented a $1 billion industry that Vince has.
I'll get no part of.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's the way it's. It's gat. That's gat. That's gat. But so anyway, we're redoing episode 8 from last week. It was, I guess, like you were there. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I might have just slept. If you wasn't there to wake me up and I was just doing myself with no co-host, this is what they would have seen for a half an hour.
More like 57 minutes.
Yeah. But so we're redoing it here, and basically it's going to be the same thing. It's in the air. I actually got a decent report back from Lee yesterday, and we'll get into it. But they they actually told me about my shoulder, which we'll see there too. All this shit is because of what happened in Florida at the hospitals, and we're going to cover all that through this show.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready for that first slide so we can kind of hear.
Yeah, okay. Is it the funny one?
No, it's this one.
Oh, okay. All right, so this right here was like 2 or 3 days after. You see that had surgery again to go in. This time, what they're doing is going in. I see this right here. Where's my camera? This right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me use this.
Yeah, I see it.
Front view. See this right there? That's an artificial joint, ankle joint. That right there, it slides back and forth.
Yeah.
It's metal. And that's what they put in, artificial joint for that leg. And the joint is metal. So when that sepsis, the blood infection crap started getting high, getting more infected, we had to yank that out to keep the metal away from the sepsis. It attaches to it and grows.
So this surgery here is when they took it out.
No, that's the other day or last week. Okay. So what the process is, they take that out and they put a block, for the hollow of your bone. They put a block there, to keep this, everything from going up inside the hollow of your bone, including the sepsis. Now we're debating, is it sepsis, is it MRSA, exactly what, because it keeps changing, mutating into something different to survive. And they just kept throwing my doctors off, like, damn, which medication do we give them? Antibiotic, different ones for different things and different strengths. But so they blocked it off with a seal, which was also discreet. Is it excreting? It was letting loose antibiotics from the inside of the foot, which was good. So we're, orally, the PICC line I couldn't remember for a while. We're intravenously taking antibiotics that they want you to stay home for. In the hospital for. And that's what I didn't finish a while ago, was that me being single and not being in Columbus for a while, I do have the blessings of Wakita Unlay Underhar, Swaggy when he decides to show up, and Addie, helping me out. My sister and brother, of course. Gosh, big blessings. But they're struggling right now. So I prayers for both of them, because they're going through some heavy stuff. I'm not going to mention that's for them. But so the point out of all that was I'm helping myself. I'm here at the house doing all this. Now I'm back in the wheelchair, which I'd gotten out of. Hell, I was walking around. Remember we showed with Radical Attical, playing games. What's it called? Corn. The
cornhole,
yeah, cornhole and
chain
all that. Yeah, bouncing around and doing everything fine, which we were waiting for to get to the sepsis to drop to a level to go back in and put the joint back in, which we were so close. And what they did, like in this picture the other day, that was right after the surgery, like 3 days. I had to change the wraps here at the house by myself. All that green shit, that's infection. You see the outer of everything, that's infection. That's not good. Lee, I keep calling him Lee, but my doctor, he assures me he's never really concerned. So when he does show slight concern, it scares me. But he's like, no, that's to be expected. It's coming out of you. At least it's coming out of you. We don't want it to stay in there, which is why it's sort of loosely stitched so that it can escape. It's just that's what happens when it escapes. So what we do in this time, the numbers have gotten down to where the sepsis or MRSA or whatever the hell we got. We're not going to be a problem putting the joint back in. But Lee opens it up, like with that one you see the long cut. He opens it way out. He explained to me this time he opened it way out because it's like 3 weeks now almost. I was getting there, and I still can't put weight on it. I can toe tap, but I can't. And he said, well, Marty, he said, we had to open it way up and clean because they're cleaning out, like flushing. It's called irrigating. They're irrigating, getting any remnants or whatever that might be in there still, getting it out, flushing it out.
You just wanted to make sure that they got in there and
yeah,
they did a good job.
Yeah. And so then after that scar, after this heals, then we open it again and put the joint back in. So it's like, it's kind of crazy, but that's the process. And I mean, I'm telling you, and I talked to Lee about it yesterday. I saw him just yesterday. See the pictures there? That was my first visit back to him. They had it wrapped pretty. It looks horrible, but what it is, see the far left picture, that's all the fluids that can't, with the wraps, it's so tight, it keeps all that upper. So it looks like a damn elephant foot kind of thing. It's not as bad as it looks, or it wasn't. Well, it was. I mean, it was tough. But so anyway, they
for the casual person looking at that, they would probably be horrified.
And they probably would pass out. They were trying to take a picture of your own self because it's true. Your body has a mechanism in it with so much pain, it'll shut off so that you'll go in shock. You can die from going in shock.
Yeah.
And so, the 9, I'm not putting nobody down, but the 9 to 5er, average 9 to 5er wouldn't be able to deal with that. And I got to, that's all day for me.
Now that's it. I mean, when you really look at the scar, man, it's massive. It's such a huge cut in the foot, and not normal people are dealing with that pain.
Yeah, the 2 on the right, I think those are from yesterday, aren't they? Because no,
we have the pictures of your foot from yesterday. I think are at the end of the show to give everybody a clear update on where you're at right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same. The time frame, but it don't matter. You get the point. But the one to far left, there's 2 more. There are 2 more, but they're just as gross as that one. The ones on the right, those are actually just recent. So you can see it is healing up.
We have a zoom up shot of your toes over here, and you can really see the swelling on this one.
Yeah, and see what else it secretes. That's the word I was looking for. Secretes. Like a little bit of fluid, see in between the toes, the crusty crust shit. I had not gone through that before, during this year and a half of crap, 2 years. And so when I went down there, they're like, oh, what's that? To clean it up. My toes were stuck together. I had to pull them apart because it's like a sticky, pussy, fluid that's leaking out your pores, trying to get out of the body, And so it's just what a process, bro. I mean, it's just never a moment to where you lean back and go, yeah, we're doing good. It's just now we're not doing as bad.
Well, but, I look at it like this. The tunnel's pretty dark right now, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, man. We just it's going to be a long road there. Oh, there's the tunnel.
Well, it's been a long road. This is Addie's work.
It's still a long road. It's even longer than the road I took to come to your house when I saw trees for 16 hours. But it was
that had to be brutal on you. You being a city boy in New York City,
yeah.
And
all right.
But it worked out good, I think. But yeah, man. So now we got back in recent. I think it was on the 1st. So this is what today. When this shows would be the 23rd or whatever. It's been 3 weeks. Normally, after any of the operations, there's been 7 now in the year, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, but 7, all on the ankle. Well, 1 on the shoulder, which we'll get into later. But they, it's amazing what the body can handle. I mean, you told me, well, you're going to have 7 surgeries in the next 2.5 years. No way, you can't. No, and there's still a couple more coming.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And again, me being single, I'm at the house. I have visitors, but you know what, Mizzy, I don't even want visitors. I mean, do once in a while, of course, especially Wakita, because we'll watch, football, Alabama, Georgia football with him. And, my brother, of course, always. But I mean, I got a bunch of my friends that are just now, because it's been kept quiet, that I'm back in town. And a lot of my friends, they're, finding out and wanting to come over. And it's not that I don't love them to death, but I just don't want, not just the fact you don't want to be seen like that. You're just miserable. You don't want to be around your friends when you're miserable. It's misery for me when I have to go to the bathroom. And I've told you about that. And you've been here, so you know what I mean. I got to get in the wheelchair. Now that I'm back wheelchair bound, I got to get in the chair from the lazy boy to the wheelchair, roll into the bathroom at the doors because they won't go. Then on my good ankle, just now getting torn up from being the good ankle, having to support all the weight, bouncing my ass like poop. It's 3 hops. I'm at the toilet, whether I got to sit or stand, but I got to get there in 3 hops, which I'm not going to show you, but I use a urinal from the hospital a lot to save that extra work just for a quick whiz. I just got to pee real quick, and to go through all that for
in a bathroom,
yeah, and I mean cooking, that's where I could use a good girlfriend and all, but I'm not using people. I'm not. I'd rather take the brunt of the punishment of my decision of. I'm not going to use somebody. A girlfriend could cook for me and do all that, cleaning the house. I mean, I'm not the neatest guy in the world, but I don't like being messy. I mean, just when you're all laid up and there's pain and misery, you just always set something aside and I'll get it later. Well, that builds up after a while,
Yeah.
And then you wake up one morning and you look like, who the hell came over and partied without me? But it's tough, man. The mental aspect of it is probably is as hard as the physical. And Lee and I talked about that yesterday,
if not harder.
And actually, he has a program where he sends people over to that need mental help. And he goes, that's pretty much everybody but you so far, Marty. Everybody has to go there. Don't feel ashamed or anything. And it's not that I'm ashamed. I just don't need to go. I don't think it's tough. Yes.
No,
but
man,
I don't.
You're dealing with a lot. I mean, just looking at these pictures, it's evident that this is not no ordinary thing to deal with.
No, and to do it by yourself, and when I say simple things like cooking. I mean, everything I do now, I can't. Well, this left foot, which has the reconstructive surgery, is the one we're actually got to go back in it after all this because it's coming apart now, supporting the right foot, all the weight and all the hopping through the bathroom and all that crap. Yeah, man, and it's just wearing it down. But gosh, it's the mental aspect. There's things that I can only speak for me. I don't know what other people go through. But I told Lee yesterday, and you have to be careful telling the doctors and nurses, man, I'm just tired of shit. I don't want to live no more. They'll stick you right in the Bradley Center.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, I mean, because they got to, as you're talking about suicidal talk.
Yeah,
if they let you go, then they're responsible. So
if you think you're miserable now, give it a week or two in one of those facilities.
Oh God, man! And some of my friends just went there recently, but yeah, man, it's just because just using my situation and settings. I'm here by myself, which, as I said, I don't mind. I got a ton of friends for the phone. You know that you were tired of talking to them all when you came and visited that time.
I think everybody is tired of talking to some of them.
But I mean, I got my friends for that, and we talk when we talk. That's good enough. But it's just hard to go from a lifestyle of partying and women. I'm single, so women partying. Actually getting to do something productive when you do your job, which I love, and you're all over the country, all over the world, all that. And you just, wham, bam, hit the brakes without warning. Like, hey, we're about to hit the brakes. No, just hit the brakes. And you got to adjust real quick. Adapt or die, basically, is what Swaggy says. And It's hard, bro.
What bothers me the most, Marty, about all this is that, you weren't dealing with this a few years ago. A few years ago, you were in Florida and everything was okay.
Perfect segue. Thank you for that. So here we go. All right. Well, I was living in Jacksonville, and this was the plan. I was going to open the school. Wait, take that off yet. We'll come back to that. I don't want to see that yet. Okay. I was in Jacksonville, living there. The goal was to open a wrestling school there. And once you got it up and running, go down to Tampa Bay area, because there's a few wrestling schools down there. And a couple of them are my friends. Frankie Reyes, I love to death, so I don't want to be stepping on anybody's toes. But I was going to do it differently, completely different. It would not affect them. It was for the younger kids, and it was for the ones that don't have the financial means, WWE's complex is set up right there in Orlando, and I don't know what they charge. I heard they charge a lot. It's worth it. You got the best trainers in the world. But I'm sorry about my nose. The damn medicine makes it itch. But they, all the kids, if you're somebody, you're watching others, like, I got better talent than that. I at least want to try to prove it. And you got the charisma, you got the looks, you got everything. You just need to get trained, but you don't have the financial means of that. That's where I wanted to come in. And that was the plan. That was the goal, which will tie into what we're going to talk about here shortly. But so, Jacksonville, we had it going, setting up, and it was like, I need to stay on time frame. I got to get my ass on down to Tampa Bay area, not Tampa necessarily itself. Jacksonville, one of the investors was really dragging his feet. So I had to be like, okay, we'll come back to this and let me head on down there and start getting that going. But I wanted Jacksonville and Tampa and everything in there in between. And of course people will come up from Miami or wherever else, just nearby, or even, a lot of people are, serious. They'll come from states away, but that was the goal. We had started, I was pretty much recovered from the reconstructive surgery on the left foot, and the joint replacement was the right foot. I had them done within 4 months of each other, which Lee said he don't like doing it inside of 6 to 8 months, but he knew I would rehab the hell out of him. He knew, we know each other. And he says, I'll give yours 4 months before doing. He says it's a couple of months, but it's a couple of months, to say, and then at the end of it, so 2 months. So it's 4 months of saving you over the long run. And we got it. We did it. I mean, I was actually ahead of schedule. I was ready in 3 months, and everything was good to where I was walking, without the crutches. And then once I got to walking freely, that's when I took off for Jacksonville to do everything. And we have some video where it gotten so good, my ankles, both of them, from that I was able to go to the gym that was in my apartment complex in Jacksonville and stack on. I mean, I was working out with everything, of course, but pertaining to the ankles, I was able to get on the not squat rack, this sled you sit, I forgot what it's called, press sled, where you're sitting there and you press the sled and put in all the weight, whatever weight you can work out with. Do we have that slide?
Let's show them right now.
Okay. This is a place. Oh shit, it's already breaking. What the fuck, don't kill me. What the fuck? That's all. I can't put no more weight. That's all the weight. It's 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Okay. Do what I tell you to fucking do. Fuck. Pop again. I don't know if you can hear. Okay, now we done. We do it too. Fucking tell us any fucking thing. We run this show. And I think that's about 300 pounds for guys like me and you, athletes and work out regularly. That 300 is not much. It is for 2 ankle surgery. Each ankle had something going on, but recovering from it. For the average 9 to 5er, everybody will see their perspective on that little clip we just showed. For 9 to 5er that doesn't really get in the gym, 50 pounds is something they have a hard time with, and especially repping it out, getting a lot of reps, which I did like 25 on that. I was doing 25 for 3 sets. I think it was 300 pounds, but whatever. But so right there, you can see that the ankles were doing great. They were recovering. They were, the process of being. Lee asked me, he said, "Don't think about getting back in the ring. I will do this so you can walk around in no pain," which I agree to. Once you hurt so bad for so long, it's like, yeah, just fix it. None of the extras. And you see it right there. And then so it was time to go down to Jacksonville. I mean, to also show the good spirits I was in. Swaggy and I would cut up. I would actually run after. Well, I say run, fast walk, chase him around the house. He had a habit of staying in the refrigerator. Do we have that,
Mr. Swaggy?
Yeah, the refrigerator because the door was here it is. So he would see the crack. Like if the refrigerator didn't shut all the way, he would take his little leg and open it and go investigate what kind of food was in there. And then I would play with him, chase him around the house. We were all in good spirits. And the point I'm trying to get across here is everything was doing so good. And then my 2 friends, one of them that we're going to see here in the interview type thing setting shortly. And another one of my friends, we all ended up being good friends. Not like that. I mean, I have females that are friends. And the funny thing is, too, Nia flew in. She was up there in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, where my sister lived for so long. I lived there anyway, she flew in. Elo from Tampa. Elo was going to be helping a lot with the schools down there and whatever else she could help with, because she was in the business for over 38 minutes. She valeted for somebody with Ron Nemey's group, or I forgot, maybe Mike Peskin. I'm not sure, but anyway, they're my good friends, and they were going to help me. I can't drive because of the disability. Legally, I'm not allowed to drive right now. Once they're good, then they get tested up for everything. Doctors clear it that I can drive again. But so, they came and got me, and I hated leaving Jacksonville. I actually liked it there, and of course the plan was to come back. But so they show up. Everybody's festive. Everybody's doing good. I think I got them to work out with me at the gym, that little gym there, once before we left. I went and got a good haircut because my hair was sort of long, and I found, I get nervous around barbershops, right?
I can imagine.
You got that picture where you can almost see I'm smiling, but behind that smile is like I'm looking to see, is Sean anywhere by?
Are you talking about this one, the barbershop picture?
Yeah, right there. That's in Jacksonville, right down from where I live. And I'm looking right there. I'm trying to act like, oh yeah, it's cool. We're gonna get the haircut right here. But really I'm looking, where's Sean? Is he coming?
Is Sean here?
Yeah. But so we jumped in the car, packed up a little bit. I didn't have that much. I wouldn't move furniture because, I'm back and forth and all over the place. Most of my furniture is in storage in Georgia, here in Columbus. Now it's in the house, of course. But the girls were great. They helped me out. My roomie, my good friend, my Brooklyn boy, he's from Brooklyn like you. And I always tell you, y'all got a lot of, now I understand both of y'all better by seeing both of y'all, being around y'all a lot. So anyway, I think we got a picture too. And this is interesting, the fact that the girls took me down from Jacksonville. Oh, there they are. That's Neo on the left picture. Sweetheart of a girl right there. And then on the right, that's Elo, the far right. She's the one that messed around in the business for 38 minutes. And then Nia, of course, and they become good friends. And I like when I'm able to get two good people to become friends, because good people want to gravitate towards good people. And they're both great people. And they got along. They're still, they're like friends now. And the crazy thing, and I wanted to send it to you so we could have it queued up, but I just didn't have time. But there was some people may remember this. And by the way, subscribe. Happy Thanksgiving, but subscribe. But so the dirt sheets, as we call them sometimes, the weak ass websites. And I'm not trying to put nobody down, but when you ain't got nothing better to do with your own site than to say, look, Marty Jannetty got a ride with 2 girls to Tampa, and you're trying to demonize it. It's like, I mean, who's going to be upset about how you demonizing that? A single guy. I mean, they're friends, but even if they wasn't, and even they are, either way, who's that supposed to upset? A single guy got a ride down to Florida, somewhere in Florida, with a couple of nice young ladies. Where is the hate? How's that supposed to upset anybody?
Yeah, I don't see the problem unless you're all having sex with rabbits,
Or what did parking meters?
Yeah, parking meters.
Yes. So everything went as planned as far as we were sort of set up for Jacksonville. I just had to come back.
Real quick though, this is where you were living at the time, right?
Yes, look how happy the far left. That was my actual. It's not apartment. It is basically apartment, but it's like they rent them out. Like little vacation rentals.
Yeah.
For 2, 3, 4 months or 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's not a regular hotel, and it's like 2, 3 rooms. But so and that was temporary to get. It's so hard to get a place in Tampa. I keep saying Tampa, but Tampa Bay area. Clearwater's where
and it must have been nice. You had Swaggy with you. You had nice friends with you.
Look, flip back. Yeah, right. Flip back. Look at Swaggy. No matter how good, Swaggy would always watch. When I was missing a remote, and I saw Sanford and Son on TV. Sure enough, that remote was somewhere near Swaggy. That was his favorite show. Mine too. But so I fed Swaggy good. He had access to the refrigerator. Saw him a while ago. If it was cracked a little bit, he would pull it open, go in there, investigate. If I didn't put the top on to something real good, he helped himself to a little sandwich meat. But look at him. He just ate real good in that far right picture. He's got to look at what do you got though? What do you got though? Can't be happy with the damn tuna fish sandwich I just gave him. But so we were all happy.
Life was good.
Yeah, everything was beautiful. And the place on the left, that yellow thing, it could have been a different color, I guess. But Swaggy, I kept him inside because he's single too. And there were some cats. Around there, so I had to keep them inside. But we were in love with the place. Again, that was just a temporary set across, sit in until time to move. Because it's so hard, Tampa, Tampa Bay area, the rent and everybody moving from New York, moving down to Tampa remember that big escape a couple years ago, the big exodus. Florida was doing great, man. The warehouse or the storage units were filled up because everybody's coming down, putting their stuff in storage and then looking for a place. So everything was filling up. Even rental cars were hard to get. But that was the game plan. It was going accordingly. We had found a place for me to rent after about a week of being there, and I was prepared to go. Everything set, and again, Nia flew down to help, which it wasn't that much. Again, mainly clothes, but a few things. And Elo, I just needed the ride. Just help me with a few bags of clothes or whatever. That's all it was to it. But so I went through a process that I go through even now, even worse now. because of all the medication. And that's another thing about the surgery. It's man, if the sleep is so off. If I fall asleep at 3 a.m, it's okay, but I wake up and I'm like, gosh, that was I was dreaming. If you're dreaming, it's like, oh, good. And then you look at the clock and it's 4 o'clock. You slept 1 hour. and I do that all night, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I'll get an hour in and I'm happy because it was a solid hour, but I just don't think that, say 6 hours, 1 hour at a time. I almost feel like it's more detrimental to your health than, certainly a full 6 straight hours. God, that would be a blessing. Plus, I got a swollen prostate, so I got to go to the bathroom a lot anyway. That's another curse, during all this, because of the hop along to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But so now here's where we go. All right, we're living good. We're happy. Swaggy's happy. I'm happy. Was decent places. The place I was about to move in Clearwater was decent, very decent, nice. And all my friends, I got so many friends there. I was about to be in heaven again. And I hit that spell of insomnia. When I got insomnia, I don't know if it's inherited. My dad had it though. I go 4 days. I actually think 5 on this particular one question, this one coming up, what we're talking about. But in hindsight, I'm like, there's no way you were up for 4 days, no sleep. But there is. And it's not like you don't try. You lay there, toss and turn, and that's the worst. I'd rather get up and do something, clean the house, work out, do something. But laying there, turn, lay there.
Yeah,
God, that's the worst.
That's miserable.
Yeah.
I've never been awake for 4 days. I did 3 days once, and that was by choice. And I after the 3 days, you could feel the effects.
Oh, bro. And on day 4, generally, when I go through that, it's not like I go through it a lot. It's not even once a month. It's once in a while, maybe once every 3 months, 2 months. But when I do go through it, besides being miserable, come day 4, and it always seems to be that. And I had told that to one of the nurses that it was what we're about to talk about. I told her about it, and she goes, "Yeah, that's generally. It must be a normal. It's not unusual for people to start hallucinating on day 4, because that's me. That's what I would see people in the house. I'd be having conversations with them. That yellow house we were just showing. I actually had a problem about 2 nights before I had the other problem. Now that I think about it, maybe that's what happened here. It bled in. I didn't even think about that. I had called the police because I had a guest, and we sat around. He kept wanting to hustle off his daughter to me, and she was younger. And I'm thinking, like, man, I ain't paying for this. Get your ass out of here. That was the end of the little friendship that we had created, which I don't even know where this guy came from. And I asked him to leave, and he didn't want to leave. Now I'm thinking, I'm not 100%, but closer, certainly closer to now. But point being, I know I'm not really ready to start, duking it out with somebody. So I was like, man, let me, if he ain't going to get out of here, call the police. And I believe it was St. Pete police that I had to call for that area. And told him, good person here won't leave. And you got the address, and he was sent a car. And I turned around and to let the guy know, him and his daughter, that, hey, police are on the way. Hang out if you want to. There wasn't nobody there. I was like, well, I was just at the front door where I called the police, and that was the only door in and out. What the hell happened? And that's when I realized, oh, shit, I hallucinated. There was never nobody. So I had to call back to the police department and tell them, never mind, they left. And so that was the end of that. But the hallucination thing, that's on record too. It all just helps prove my case. That's got to be on record. I'm sure they got that on file at the police department. Maybe, I don't know. But so they day 4 or 5, whatever it was, Nia calls, and Elo was set with the car, and we're gonna get by a little bit of stuff and head over to the place I was about to rent. and I was, so like I said, on day 4, I couldn't, I'd lay there yawn even. I mean, God, the yawn. But so I'm laying there and starting to yawn, and I know they're going to be there. They said about 45 minutes, Marty. It might take us up to an hour, but we'll be there. And I'm starting to yawn and nod, and I'm like, you know what? Shit, I can power nap. Grab it while you can. Because just even that little bit. And so, I laid there, and I was like going out, and I'm like, okay, good. I figured, okay, I'll sleep till they get here. Next thing I know, I'm waking up, and there's police, paramedics, both, whatever it was, around me. And I've been told, and I need to research more, but in the state of Florida, or at least the county that I was in, they can't force you to go to the hospital. They were upset because they say, this is a bullshit story. In fact, I tell you what, with Nia was kind enough, and she would be, a witness if we were ever go to court, which I think this deserves a court visit. I mean, I don't care about that kind of shit, but when you change somebody's life, can we go to Nia's interview?
Sure.
And I'll probably hit you up like stop.
Mr. Savage and MJ, thank you for having me on your podcast. So the events that we're about to talk, they started on November 18th, 2021, and it covers a span of 7 weeks. So I was visiting Florida. I went to see Marty, and when I walked in his apartment, I noticed that he was showing signs of dehydration and sleep deprivation. So I was very concerned, and an ambulance was called. Marty, when he came to, when he regained consciousness, when he was awoken, he didn't want to go to the hospital. He thought he was fine. I was of the view that, maybe we could get some water into him, get a little rest, give him a little rest, and he would be okay. But the people that came with the ambulance, the paramedics, they were of the view that he should go to the hospital. And he was almost threatened because he said he didn't want to go. And they said, well, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. And that kind of shocked both me and him that, they were being a little aggressive about it. Anyway, he ended up going to the hospital, and his stay lasted about 7 weeks. And a couple of things we observed that, really make us question how they treated him. The nurse's attitude the first night in ER, they kept him in the ER in the first night. And I said to the nurse, I noticed his feet had a little bit of...
Okay, time it out. Okay, excellent. Okay. So now that's what she saw from fully awake and everything. And the way I understood it, though, is I didn't answer the door when she got there, because I was out. And she had gotten the guy that ran the place, the manager, whatever, who I was good with, good friends. He opened the door for her to come in. He knew of her and knew, we talked a lot. Me and the manager, we became friends. But he felt that, I'm laying there and they're calling me and I'm not budging, I'm asleep. He got panicked and called the ambulance people. So I don't know why a policeman would be involved. I'm not sure there was, because remember, I'm out of it, kind of waking up. 2, there were several people there in uniform. I could swear there was a policeman there, but maybe that's normal. You send the police with the paramedics. But so I just remember waking up and I was just like, I'm not comprehending what's going on. Like, what's going on? And I see Nia, and it was good to see her. But I'm also looking at them, wondering what are they doing in here? And they're looking at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What's up?" "Well, you weren't responsive when we got here." I said, "Yeah, I just laid down for a nap. I hadn't slept in 4 days." And I said, "But I'll get one later. I got to get." And I had to hurry. That was the thing. I was supposed to check out like that night or whatever it was. That was my big concern, was hurrying up and getting out, so I didn't extend my stay and upset anybody, because there was some people renting right behind me. So that was my big deal, is let's get the stuff and get out of here. That's my main thing. And they were like, no, you got to go in now. We got to take you in. And I'm like, for what? I told you, there's nothing wrong. I'm doing jump jacks. I'm like, I'm fine. What are you talking about? Well, you wasn't when we got here. I said, I was asleep. I just told you I had not slept in 4 days. Of course, I wasn't going to be pop right up and kip up and arm drag you. I mean, I'm trying to wake up and all that nap was so good. I actually remember dreaming, but so they kept saying, no, you're going, and I'm like, I'm not going. I don't need to. I'm fine. Leave me alone. I got to get out of here. And everything was already packed, compacted into. All we got to do is pick it up and put it in the car. I said, do you see all this? I've got to move out. I got to get out of here. I got time to play with this. I'm not going. And they're like, well, you are going. And then I'm like, who the hell are they talking to like that? And I'm like, no, I'm not going. You can guarantee I am not going. And I said, I got too much to do to screw around with this shit. I don't need to go. What are you going to do? Wake me up more? I'm awake. But it's like little, meaningless little bicker back and forth. And then it finally started being, as she said, aggressive. I took it as a threat. The one dude, was all bowing up now, saying, well, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And then, Larry Boa comes out. And I just said my age there. But so, I looked and I could thought 3, 4, I'm still groggy from waking up like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to fight all of them. so I said, all right, man, let's do this thing. How long is it going to take? Now, this is the fun part right here. How long is it going to take? And they said, well, that's up to you. If you'll hurry up, you can be out within an hour or so. And I'm like, God, isn't that crazy? You're making me go in for an hour or so. What the hell is that going to accomplish? I mean, I didn't understand the whole thing. It don't make sense, does it?
No.
I mean, that's totally how are you forcing somebody to go? I mean, in hindsight, let's think about it. Insurance cards right there, right? Money. With that, I said, let's go. Let's get it over with. And I walked out to the truck ambulance thing. I walked out to it. I told my manager, I said, I guess I'll be back in a little bit to get that out. And he's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do. And Nia followed, and I think she had to drive. She couldn't ride in the ambulance with me, plus she had her car there. So I get up in the ambulance, and then they want to lock me down and all that crap. And I'm like, well, you have to. I understand that. In the ambulance, you got to put you in that little gurney thing and, lock you in for safety purposes. But so I'm thinking, let's go get it over with. I'll be back. And the manager wasn't going to be a problem. He saw what happened, and so he knew that, I can't get my stuff out until. Then we get there, and, they didn't want me walking in, but, finally they got away from me enough to where I was like, no, man, I don't need to go in on the gurney. For what? I mean, now we're putting on a show or what? So I walked in. And then that's when Nia saw what all she saw, that, I'm still groggy. No matter if you got that little 20-minute, 10-minute, whatever it was, power nap, you're still not, 100% comprehending all the shit, especially that kind of shit that's going on. So now play what she saw, and then I'll tell you more about that.
Copy that.
Yep.
And I asked her, like, can you, clean it up? Because that's your job. And she just handed me the wipes, and she's like, well, you can do it yourself. And I was like, okay, that's, not very nice of you. And that just kind of set the stage for how it was for his entire stay. Like, whenever I would call for updates or, just to see how he was doing and how things were progressing. And the nurses would always give us the runaround, like, transferring calls, not picking up calls, or just being very short with us, not really giving us any satisfactory answer or telling us exactly what was wrong with him. And then he stayed in ER for a night. He was transferred to ICU in the morning, and then he stayed in ICU for 2 days, and then he was moved to the floor. I stayed there while he was in the ICU, so I saw him through that. And the thing that shocked us was when he showed us videos of bloody IV and bloody sheets, and nobody came and cleaned that up. Nobody came and asked him, like, why was it there in the first place? So me and his family and his friends, like whoever saw that video, we were extremely concerned. That's not how a hospital is supposed to operate. And so, but we were not able to get satisfactory answers from the nurses, like, why was his bloody IV there? Why was his sheet not changed? Why was somebody being subjected to those conditions?
All right, time out. Okay, so that's the thing. See, I didn't even realize getting bounced around like that. I mean, she had told me that afterwards, she said, man, they took you from where you come in the ER, where they forced me to come in, to ICU. That's intensive care. Why? Why the hell did you take me from not needing to go there? Now you ship me over to, after a night, to ICU. And now by the time in ICU, I'm really not comprehending, because they're loading me up, got an IV in me. I mean, all this for what reason? Because I couldn't sleep and I took a nap and was waking up slow. All of a sudden I got needles in my arms and I'm in intensive care. What kind of bullshit is that, bro? And, she was a witness to all this. Elo was a witness to a lot of it. What one didn't see when the other one wasn't there, we had to cover from beginning to the end, because after they shipped, in hindsight, again, I think about that insurance card. That's all that was. If you think about it, there was nothing. There was no need in that. I mean, I was up and walking around and shit, and now you got me in intensive care and with needles and shit in my arms. I mean, they loaded me up on medicine. It was 4 days had gone by. I didn't, because Nia had to leave and go back to Virginia. And it was like, you're leaving? You just got here. She goes, it's been 4 days. I'm like, what? Because I've got the TV right there in front of me, and nurses coming in all night, giving me whatever I want as far as when it was time for my medicine. That what medicine, but it was the pain medicine that would keep me kind of groggy, and it just didn't. My brain was shot. It didn't register to me that, Marty, why you here? As long as I felt decent, which you feel decent when they put that medicine in you, or some of it, it seemed like an hour. It was 4 days, and I guess that's what. The thing is, I guess they do that to more than just me, and I think that should be exposed. I didn't want to mess with any lawsuits, mainly because one of my best friends, Lee, Dr. McCluskey, that's suing his. That would be going after his, his industry. But I took him. Can you pull that picture up of the blood taped on my arm?
Absolutely, and it should be exposed. My mother-in-law passed away in Florida to the same nonsense.
Damn, sorry to hear that. I didn't know that. See the one with the left bloody. They couldn't. Whoever it was couldn't find a vein. They kept missing. See the left arm. They'd already tore it up from the same shit. That's all bruised. So where they just kept puncturing and puncturing. Oh, we missed it. No, we missed. They finally got one on. That's the right arm. And so when they got it, it was leaking down the side of my arm, and they wiped it off and taped that on and said, "Oh, this will do." And it ended up being blood on my right side on the sheets. I mean, if I move a little bit, you hear, and it's me rolling in blood. That was leaking out of that. Oh shit! We turn that off.
That's crazy.
Hold on. Hey, Gino, I'll call you right back. I'm on the podcast. All right, bye. Damn, I hate doing that to him. He just got back from the hospital himself. But yeah, so a male nurse came in, who knows how long it had been, I'd been laying like that, and when my arm taped like that. And I remember him saying, like, he goes, I I understand they said not to bother it because they got the, your veins are flattening out, so they want to leave this one. And I said, well, it's not him though. He's looking right here. He goes, yeah. He goes, in good conscience, I cannot let you lay here like this. He goes, we're going to need to wash you, and I got to change that. I got to take that off. And so now for the first time, I find out that my strength is gone, right? Because I'm gonna go do little showers right there. And I go to get up, and I can't get up. I'm weak. As far as I remember, I was eating the hospital food. But how long are we in? I need to speed this up. What's the time?
We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Oh shit! All right, let me speed up. Okay, and bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to hurry. Happy Thanksgiving. Save me some turkey and ham, but and dressing. Love dressing
and stuffing.
And yes, that too. If made good, that's the best. But so the male doctor helped me, and but I couldn't get to the shower. I mean, I need to. It's all over that little front piece that you wear.
Yeah.
That's scary. And I got to get cleaned up. It's on my body too, of course, and I can't stand up. I'm like, how am I going to shower? And he goes, okay, I'll get you a chair, and just sit in the chair. I said, well, okay. And they got me in there, and I was able to. But the thing was, and it still ain't even dawning on me yet. Like, why is it you can't walk now? Why is it you couldn't stand in the shower? I'm just thinking, I'm so fucking medicated up. I'm not comprehending what's happening all around me. Let alone the fact, why am I there? Let alone why they put me in ICU. Let alone why is there blood all over my ass? So let alone all that. And now I can't even walk. I mean, I couldn't get to the shower, and they put me in a wheelchair and wheel me into a chair to sit and wash off, and the same way back, and help me into bed. I mean, something's up, bro. In my opinion. So no, that's not a lawsuit. That's not slander. It's my opinion. In hindsight, you know what they were doing, right? You mess with the medical field.
They're milking you.
They're milking the shit out of that insurance card, and they're keeping me loaded up on whatever so that they can keep getting that. Now back to Lee, where I said, I talked to him. I didn't want the lawsuit or whatever. This was at the beginning, of the ridiculousness. And I told him about it, and the whole, how this happened to you, what happened, because I was low on blood too. I was like 2, and Dr. Mac will tell you best, because he don't hold back. He was mad about whatever happened. And that's Lee's brother, Lee McCluskey, and we were all on the football team. We called him Mac, for short for McCluskey. So there was Lee and there was Mac. But so anyway, Mac, and he's the one who did the shoulder. In fact, this might be a time to throw the shoulder up real quick. The shoulder pictures. See the right there, the right one. Now I'm back to Georgia, and that shoulder kept. So see the red right there. That rash would stay there for no reason, no apparent reason. That was just there, and that's when one of my friends said, "Uh-oh, man, you need to get in." And again, I was still weak as hell. Now this was. I'm getting off time frame a little bit, but so that's what Mac's job was. Mac went in, McCluskey, the older brother. He went in and scraped that off, scraped the sepsis off the bone, because if he didn't, and that's why they got 42 staples in there to put it back together. The sepsis, he said at one point they were thinking they were going to have to amputate the arm, because I asked him, like, when can I start working out? Because of all the staples. And I said, well, how long would this be? When can I? He goes, never. And I said, never. He goes, you can't work out no more. It ate up all your tendons and cartilage in there. All you got is some muscles holding it into the rotator cuff. And I can loosen it. It'll pop out, and it's gross looking. But he said, that's when he told me, he goes, don't worry about working out. Be glad you got an arm, which that's a horrible thing to hear. So, anyway, all that, now we backtrack back to Florida. in the hospital. After so many days, I think what happened, yeah, look at that. It's an eyeball shooting out of the, looks like an eyeball sticking, looking through my damn ankle right there. But they, like what you said, they milked as far as they could go, and they couldn't go no further with the insurance card or the insurance. And because, I got Georgia insurance, I'm in Florida, they were getting whatever they could get from that anyway. And once they were done, get his ass out of here so we can get to the next person. I mean, that's how it felt. Like, okay, we can't do no more for you. You got to go. You got to get somebody up here. Get somebody to get you. Hurry up. Gosh damn, man. And so that's when Elo picked me up. The other girl in that picture, she picked me up in a wheelchair, and she was like, Marty, what is going on? Why are you in a wheelchair? I don't know why I'm in here to start with, let alone the wheelchair part. But so I don't know, bro. PI. Remember we said PI? We might not have. But okay, so from that I went. They sent me what's his name? One of the guys that was in the 3 count, remember, for wrestling, he got into the medical field. Shane Helmsley, is it?
Sugar Shane Helmsley.
He got into the medical field.
Okay.
But I don't want to get his name wrong. But anyway, he had a rehab thing where they were going to help me get back to my feet, whatever was wrong, physically, that I couldn't walk around, which I was curious too. Like, what could they have done? I mean, I was fine. You see, I was working out like a mofo, just a week earlier. Everything is fine. All of a sudden, I can't walk. What the hell's going on? What could my thing? Yeah, my big thing is, what could they have done other than the filthy hospital? That's how you get sepsis.
Filthy hospital with bad practice and, taking advantage of you.
Yeah. And so all the blood and shit, that I'm laying in for days. Hell, how do we know that wasn't somebody else's blood too? Did they even clean the sheets? I mean, that was a filthy hospital. And what I was going to say with Lee when I told him, I don't want to sue because that's your field. I don't want to, upset you or not. I don't want you thinking, well, if I mess up, he's going to come after me. And he goes, Marty, he goes, as a doctor, we don't want stuff like that for our reputation of our industry. You've got my blessing to go after that because I don't want that. That's bad practice and it shouldn't be allowed. And you will actually be saving other people from having to go through it too. So you just go right ahead. So that's when I actually considered, like, okay, I didn't know who to call, but so what I did, I went with I'm not going to say a name, but I went with one of them television things, the big claims, like, we'll get you everything. And you call them and they want a brief detail on the answer machine or voicemail. They want a brief detail. And I left them a good one and told them I got pictures and eyewitnesses. I never heard back from them. I don't know if that meant they didn't feel they could win a case. I don't know. I actually called and left another one because I thought maybe it didn't record. Maybe I did something wrong. But
I think I need to hook you up with my lawyer, Nick Sikas.
Can he go nationwide?
If he doesn't, he knows someone who will.
Okay. But so from going in there, let's listen to the rest of her interview, and then I'll carry on with all the shit because we got to wrap it up pretty soon.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I really believe that neglect happened in that hospital. When he was discharged on a wheelchair. He was unable to walk. He was in a lot of pain. And it's just begs the question that after 7 weeks in the hospital, a person should be better, not worse. And it just felt like he came out worse than he went in to the hospital. When he went to the hospital, he went walking and he came out on a wheelchair. So, that's something that really bothers me personally. And we feel like his friends and family and me being his close friend, we feel that a life was ruined. There was so much promise. He wanted to, open a school in Florida train kids who, you know, might have the talent but don't have the means. And that chance was taken away from him. His future plans were put on hold as he recovered from numerous surgeries and fighting off the blood infection and the antibiotics that just never seemed to end. It really breaks my heart to see him like that. It just, he's in a lot of pain, and that pain overshadows everything in his life. And he tries to be cheerful and to put a smile on our faces and just, you know, go on with the business of life. But it's just that pain and the infection and all of that is just, it has taken over his life. I personally feel that the hospital has some questions to answer about that. Like, why was he worse for wear when he came out of the hospital? Thanks for having me. And I really, really am grateful for a chance to tell my side of the story. Thank you.
Thank you, dearest. Appreciate that. You know what, she touched on something there, where she said they cheated me out of my chance to help others. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Absolutely.
Okay. I didn't hear you. You know, she said something about, you know, he kind of got cheated out of the whole goal I had was opening the schools, you know, for the younger. And I was actually going to work with younger kids, you know, going down. So, because to me, that's the way you get better. You start younger, you know, because they're as good as they can get right now, unless they start younger. Athletes, I mean, you know, the wrestling now, the guys now, the girls too. The girls are as good as the guys. But so I thought about when she said that, I thought about, you know what? They didn't just cheat me then. They cheated all them kids out there that I was going to train. But all the ones I was going to give the opportunity, that they're not going to get that opportunity anywhere else. They don't finance you and say, hey, you know, here's a credit card. We'll take a credit. You know, they don't have the money, the means, like she said. I was going to fix all that, take care of all that, and help all that. So they've cheated not just me; they cheated a bunch of, you know, future superstars.
They cheated a whole generation of students.
Yeah, and so and now the last of the pictures that you know we got on slides. This is the shit I've gone through since. And oh, by the way, she said 7 weeks. That's how long I ended up being in there, because every hospital took a bite of the apple. When I went to the Helmsley's place, wait, pause it real quick. When I went to Helmsley's place, or I say in Helmsley, it might not be, whatever, it was one of the boys, and the rehab, they didn't realize it was that bad. They're like, oh man, he can't even get up. I couldn't even get up off the bed. It was getting worse rather than like, okay, he can't get up. He's struggling, he needs a wheelchair. I was getting to where I couldn't even get in the wheelchair. It was getting worse. It's like, what did y'all inject me with? But I mean, that would have been the sepsis, because it's eating away at everything. It's taking away my ability to move around. And they even said, we'll find you another hospital, or we'll try to. And they did. And it was a different one than the first one. At that point, I couldn't tell you how long I was in the second one. It was the third stop. And then Tampa General, once they got as far as they could with insurance, then Tampa General, which is a pretty big one, you know, known nationwide, I thought it was credible, but they kept me for the longest period of time. And again, I think you're running up that insurance card. You know, I think that's what I think. I don't know. I mean, 7 weeks I was in the hospital. I was forced to go. And was told, like, if you hurry up, stop digging around, basically is what they were saying. You can be out in an hour or so. 7 weeks later, I'm being released and in a wheelchair again. Thank God for my brother and my friend Wakita coming down to Tampa to get me the hell out of there and bring me up to Columbus, to where I finally went to the emergency room, because it was just everybody around me. My buddies were like, you got to get in there. Something ain't right. We're watching you. In the short few days I was home, they watched me go down. They're like, no, you're getting worse by the day. And it was, I guess I'd lost 2 liters of blood. I was like, if you got 8, you're supposed to have 8. I don't know if it's liters or quarts, but I had half of it. So, you know, anemic as hell. And you know, I didn't lose that much blood anywhere that I know of. I don't know. Maybe they put me to sleep there.
Very, very scary stuff, man.
Yeah. But so now with the pictures we got left, this is what I battled, including the shoulders, like you were just showing. And that's the pick line. That's when I went home after, you know, they scraped my shoulder and did all that. I have to give myself 3 shots a day. That's the most powerful antibiotic you can put in you. And they prefer you to stay in the hospital, you know, so they can watch over you. If it gets out of hand, you're right there. And, you know, nurses and doctors can do something. They really didn't want me going home and doing that pick line myself. But, man, I wasn't going to stay in the damn hospital. I hated that place. So all this, you know, the ankles, had to go in, take the joint out that I was banging out the weights. Everything was so good. Look at the yellow on the toes on the far right one. Or the right picture, the yellow on the toe. I don't know what that's called. It's not good though. And yeah, to see the left, or that's the right foot, but the left picture. See that white crappy shit? I'm guessing that's pussy, and I don't know if it's infection. You know, it's got to be, right? It's pus.
That definitely looks like pussy discharge.
Yeah, and you know the green shit's always there, and I guess it comes out of that, but. There's that. You got some of the elephantitis foot.
Wow, I got this picture because
okay, right there. See, that's what I had to go through right there. That's the pick line shots. You see, I got midnight, 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. 8 hours apart. I had to take 3 a day. It's actually 3 shots, 3 times a day. Damn, man. That was your girl. That was Lainey. Or my friend we're friends. You know, so you know, 3 times a day, and you get groggy as shit on all this medication. I could not remember, did I take my 4 p.m. or not? So that's why the signs, I put them out there. So when I took, say, for instance, the 4 o'clock, I would flip it over to the backside. So the midnight, I know was next. And then when I did the midnight, I'd flip it over, let me know you did take that. And that's how I had to do that, putting damn signs up and you know, look at all the used up needle. There is the ankle when it swelled up. When I thought I was getting better, I started riding the stationary bike. This shit popped up on me. So I had to go through a while with that, getting that down. I mean, it was just one thing after another, after another, after another. And it's been that since I've been back, which I got back last February. It'll be 2 years I was back this coming February. Day after my birthday, which is the 3rd. The 4th, I was back here in Columbus, and you know, it's been 2 years of misery and hell. The mental aspect of it is just unbelievable because there's times you lay around, and I don't want to say too much. I don't want the guys in white jackets to be here, take me to the Bradley Center. But for me, there's been times I'm just tired of it. Something happened most recent. I think I told you about it. My niece, Lisa, the sweetheart, she invited me the other day. She said, Marty, please don't stay home by yourself for Thanksgiving. I'll come get you, have Thanksgiving with me and Mom, which is my sister, Diane, and her kids, which is a lot of them, and grandkids. And, you know, I said, well, Lisa, I just got out of surgery. I can't do it. I can't be, you know, around. I don't feel like moving. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. She goes, but this is what got me. She said, it's okay. I'll bring you a plate like last year. I thought about that. You know what? Fuck. Last year, it was deja vu because it was the same thing. It was the 1 year ago that they took that joint out. You know, the one that we're trying to put back in now. So, and it was the same thing. She asked me last year, like, don't stay home by yourself. At the time I was staying with Waukita's, but he was back with his wife. So again, I was by myself. But so, you know, it was the same thing. I just had surgery, and that's why she brought me. So, man, it was like a year. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just saying you got hit with a massive deja vu.
Oh, yeah, man. It was the same thing all over again. And that's when it hit me, like, been a year. And there ain't no improvement. I mean, it is improvement, but
I wanted to ask you about that. I wanted you to spend these last few minutes kind of updating us on your most recent visit.
That was yesterday at 4:00. You see that it's still got the green. See the green shit in the wraps over there. That's still infection, but Lee wasn't too worried about it. He goes, well, you're gonna get some of that with what you got. Which what happens with the infection, like say it's sepsis, it's a bacteria. It wants to live too, so it mutates into a different thing. It formulates into something different, and then you got to take different antibiotics. Luckily, the one that they just replaced the other day, the block that they put in, I told you it secretes the antibiotics from inside. He said we happened to get the right. It secretes the perfect thing to fight off the what's it's mutating into now. So he thinks we can really get this because I got a wrap that goes around, like see this
around the
here.
whole leg, yeah.
Yeah, well, you
That's
can't
heavy,
see it.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's heavy duty.
Yeah, underneath is it's medicated, and it goes in from the outside inward. That's an antibiotic. And we got the one secreting from the inside, and I'm taking the oral. So I'm taking 3 antibiotics right now fighting this shit. And, one's hard enough, but
I got to say, it looks better than the last time I saw it. And from my knowledge, it looks like the body's just doing everything it can to heal. And as it's healing, it's just pushing out that.
Yes. Well, that's what's happening. Yeah, that's the way Lee explained it. It's tightening up and it's squeezing out the impurities. So it's just, it was brought up to me, Lee said about amputation on the ankle. And he goes, they got great prosthetics now. Prosthetics, however you say that. And I was like, Lee. And he laughed. He goes, I know, but I just want you to know that option is available. And I was like, I'd rather die. I mean, it's like if I'm going to do that, I might as well. I've already gave up. If I'm going to give up, it ain't going to be like that. But so, I started looking at, because I was going to send you some pictures to put on here of, they got some cool looking, prosthetics that you put on.
2023, we've upgraded.
Yeah, man, you got cool looking, heavy metal looking things that almost, if you wasn't serious, almost like, I want that.
Why can't we just call Vince and have him turn you into RoboCop or something? He's got the money.
Well, with all the metal I got in me right now.
A little more won't hurt,
Yeah, shit. But so, yeah, man, it's just, I mean, I don't know, Mizzy. I mean, I got you helping me. I got my brother, of course. And
you got a bunch of people that love you, Marty. Your fans love you. Your family loves you. I love you.
And I love all y'all.
I'm here for you every day. Whenever you need anything, you can always call me anytime. You know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can we answer the question even a little bit? The episode is called, Will Marty Lose His Foot? Do you have any kind of answer for?
Well, yeah, Lee told me yesterday, because I told him, I said, man, you know how much I was against it, but when Lisa, my niece, hit me with that the other day, with the deja vu, like, okay, I'll just bring you a plate like last year. That bothered me, man. I will tell you what I shouldn't tell you in the world right here just listening. That same night that she had, it was like 4 nights ago, I got on, it kind of just like a mule kick, a wake up call that like, this is what's going on in your life, bro. You ain't doing nothing but staying sick. I was laying in the recliner, the TV room, and it was under a little blanket. It wasn't cold, but I got the air conditioning on, and then the blanket over, because for some reason that's always so comfortable. And a little bitty space heater, just like one big as your feet, little space heater right down by my feet, hanging off the thing, the lazy boy, and a couple of beers, and to relax with, and TV set on football, whatever. It was just something enjoyable. Leaning back in the chair, warm, comfortable, because at that point there was no pain shooting through me, so it wasn't hurting. I was comfortable. You got the blanket on, got the little cozy little, what do you call it, space heater down, keeping your toes warm. And I just thought, this is the way to go. Just enjoy it and let it come.
Well, maybe, but not yet.
Yeah. And the thing is, I started thinking of my friends. Like, I need to tell somebody, but I can't tell my brother because he's going through something that he don't need to hear anything like that. My sister's going through something. She don't need to hear nothing like that. I started running through my list of friends. I thought about you, and I just thought, well, for one thing, it was like late, family time. And you get mad at me when I think shit like that.
I don't get mad at you. I just want to get you away from that and do whatever I can to show you that there's other options. There really is. And you're a fighter. I look at you as a fighter. All your fans look at you as a fighter. You've been fighting your whole damn life, man.
So, hey, Gino.
What you doing?
You got right here's the camera.
Hey, Gino. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. We're just about give me another minute.
That's all right. I got to go. Mary's in the car. I just wanted to bring you some barbecue.
How'd it go today?
Like always.
Okay. We'll go. I'll call you in a little bit. We'll talk about it.
All right, man.
Thank you, man. I love you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, he said good to see you, miss.
Thank you. Tell him it's awesome to see him too.
Okay. All right, Brian, I'll call you. Yeah, so they what were we saying? Oh, about laying down and just, it was comfortable. I was just laying there, and absolutely, it was a surprise comfort. It was like, wow, nothing hurts. That was the biggest part. Nothing was hurting right then. And I just thought, like, this is what I've been fighting to have for 2 years. Here it is. Let's go out in comfort. But then I wanted to call my friends and give somebody an opportunity to talk me out of that. Because the thing was, I had this part I shouldn't be telling, because this is why I don't want the people with the little white coats coming, straight jackets. There were sleeping pills, what do they call them, tranquilizers, things that helps you relax and go to sleep. There's a bunch of them there, take one beer and a few of them, and I don't have to hurt no more.
Well, I remember you calling me and telling me that, and I'm glad you did call me and tell me that. I texted you a bunch of stuff that I'll keep between me and you, but you got a million reasons why you have to keep fighting, because once you get through this bullshit, I feel like the best, and I know you might take this and not believe it, but I still think the best years of your life are ahead of you, Marty.
I do believe that if I can get out of this, I'm in quicksand right now. The harder I try, the faster I seem to go down. I'm not by no means wanting to throw in the towel, but I'm just tired of hurting. And it's just,
I get it.
It's not over. I mean, we're going to fix everything. It's just, being single, that. My brother just stopped in. That's Gino. That's my hero. Stopping in real quick, and I didn't get to say much because we're finishing up here, but that's all I got. I'm not complaining on that because I chose my path. Not this crap. This is why, again, I definitely want to go after the hospital, because they have ruined this life, and subsequently a bunch of lives that I would have been making, give them a chance of making their dreams come true. It's just shitty. And like Lee said, don't let them do it to other people.
I agree.
But it's just so hard to want to live like this, though, man.
We're going to get to
and another thing is, so it'd be so easy to call one of my friends, my girls, and say, hey, you ready to settle down? Because I'd be using them. To get them like settled down like most of them want to do, should finally do it because of this, because I'm not, doing well. That's wrong, and I will not do that. So at this point, I'm not, my battery. You really do gotta, why the folks are dying?
No, that's all right.
Anyway, we're hurry because I got like 10%. But so I'm not going to use nobody. So right now I'm in a conundrum where I can't even do nothing because I'll feel like I'm I can't even look or talk to anybody female wise right now because I'm not going to feel like I'm using them. I'm settling because I'm going down. So now, so I'll get through this myself, and with your help and my fans' help and the loved ones. But all right, brother, I'm dying out, my battery and me. So let's get together, everybody, and we'll see y'all next week.
You know what you can do, though? You can keep calling this guy's wife.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, Marty, the barber here. Been a while since we've seen each other. I'll be seeing you pretty soon. Oh, and stop calling my wife at 5 in the morning, man. I wouldn't mind, but you're waking me up.
Yeah, you can keep calling his wife. You can call me. I won't do the sex talk with you.
No, Missy, well, me and Missy don't do that, but
Yeah,
she'll call me at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and then say, call me back. And I call back and I always tell her, where's Beaver? She goes, he's right here. I said, well, you're waking him up. I mean, it's the same routine.
Same
But,
thing, never ends. But we'll be back next week, hypothetically. Same time,
Yes, sir.
same damn place. And we all love you, Marty. And we'll be back
I
next week.
love all of y'all, and we'll have a good show for you next week. In fact, we're going to have some good surprises. All right. Love y'all.
Go Bulldogs.
Yes.
Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching the Party with Marty.